You belong with me. You belong.
Hi everyone, my name is Daria.
And I'm Hollis P. Monroe.
We are believers.
We are believers.
Every week we are preparing no new episode for you.
Yes. You know what, though? If there's anything that people would like to hear us discuss, contemplate, theorize, philosophize, that they should get in contact with us, because we're always looking for new topics and things that we may not thinking about. And I think there's somewhere they can find the email address, or they can leave comments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you. Feedback is always welcome.
Yeah, guys, if you like to tell us something, to share with us something, and you have new ideas or topics for our podcast, we're very happy to hear from you. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram,
All
whatever.
that. Yes.
All this we are in contact and we are ready to discover something new, because maybe something is interesting for you and you like to make it loud. So yeah. Today will be not usual episode, because topic will be a bit harder.
Okay.
But it's very important topic to have. And last week I got two experience that pushed to me to start this topic, to understand that this topic is important. Somebody have to speak about everything time to time. First of all, my kid have ADHD, and he got pills in this week.
Okay.
Finally, we decided, we stop the fight, and we will try some chemical industry product recommended by doctors here in Germany. I don't know, I think in USA as well, in some countries forbidden. So before to give it to my son, I was taking one pill, because I want to know what I will give to my son, to my kid.
Oh, wow.
And Ritalin, it's some kind of amphetamine. So produced by some industry, and it's not original drug, but it's a bit like part of this. It's from basic. It's taken from amphetamine, so from drug. That's why I'm worried, about this.
Yeah.
And so what happens? But I forget that person have to start to take at first small dose, and raise this dose little by little, every day.
Okay.
And I took complete in the first day.
Oh, on the first day. Okay.
What happens? I was just high.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was, but with clean, when you're high and with clean head, you understand everything what happens. You try to do something, but you can notice and realize something wrong here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
It shouldn't be like this,
Yeah.
Daria, your reaction now very strange. Just sit at home.
Wow.
Go to nowhere.
Yeah.
And everybody have to be careful with, because you're very, very close to drug industry.
Wow.
Unfortunately. But in small dose, and to raise it, if you raise it correct, and if you do exactly what doctor said, it's okay. And second, what happens in this week, what was pushing me to think about this again. After this episode with this pill, I get to know that one friend of mine, I thought he's fine. I thought actually he's complete fine and everything wonderful is his life.
Okay.
And I get to know that he's alcoholic and he's really under all these problems. And it's really tough, Wow. I never thought before, because, if I go in some party and I drink 1-2 glass of something, beer or wine, nothing happens. I can just stop it and go home, and 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks drinking nothing, and nothing happens with me.
Right.
And if somebody have addiction, it means he cannot stop.
Right.
It's real problem. It's same happens with drugs. Somebody took one pill, I don't know, ecstasy on party.
Right.
Bergheim.
Yeah.
And
I go to Bergheim, and well, I don't go all the time, but I got okay. Somebody go ahead. I don't want to derail, but go ahead.
No, I'm not doing as well. I'm not doing drugs as well. This for me also, it's not fun for me, you know. And but some stable person can take one pill in Bergheim today, and next time he will do maybe in 2-3 months if he like to do, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe in 1 year, maybe never again.
Right.
But a person with addiction need this. I need it.
Right.
I need it today, tomorrow, just now, you know, and he cannot do something about this, you know.
Right.
I know you are not drinking.
Right.
Not taking drugs,
Yeah.
doing nothing, not smoking,
No smoking.
and even did not try.
I could tell you, I took a puff from a cigarette once with my cousins when I was a kid, and I smoked tobacco from a pipe with my stepfather, and I had a beer with my stepfather once. Yeah, yeah, and I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. I think these are the 3 things I've done in my life.
Yeah, so today's topic is not so to yours.
No, but I mean, obviously, I've been around these things. Like, you know, I've worked in clubs.
Yeah, and I feel it's amazing. You are around to this, or you're inside of this, you know, and you are not using
right
this stuff.
You know, I could see where I would be weak for this. You know, because for a lot of people, they say I'm no expert. I have no level of expertise in these things. But from what I understand, that a lot of times people are using things to self-medicate themselves, you know? To self-medicate themselves. Is that proper English? To self-medicate. And for instance, I've talked about this quite a few times. I have like performance anxiety when it comes to DJing, which means like I used to think that I had stage fright, right? But I don't have stage fright because as soon as I start playing, it goes away. Like I'll play like 1 or 2 records and then I'll forget that I was ever afraid. But let's say I remember times like, especially when I've had a long break from DJing, which can sometimes be quite often, like if months have gone by and I haven't played, I will have like, say if a promoter or something or a booking agent contacts me about taking the gig, if I say yes, I will immediately get sick. As soon as I get off the phone or walk away from the computer, I will have bathroom issues. And I mean immediately. And it will be like this pretty much every time I think about it, I'll get sick, you know? And I mean, so if I agree to the gig and the gig is like a month away, it'll be for a month that will happen, all the way up until the point when I start playing, right? So I can imagine someone having to deal with this feeling and wanting something that's going to push that feeling down. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure there's lots of other DJs and stuff that go through this problem or have stage fright, or like guys that like that aren't really socially like they have social anxiety. They don't know how to they have trouble interacting well with other people around and stuff like that. And I think they drink in order to, you know, like the way people drink to get confidence, you know, like they can't dance at somewhere until they've had a few drinks, or they can't go up and talk to a girl until they've had a few drinks, you know what I mean? Or whatever else that they need to do. So I can, from that point of view, even though I don't know what it is to be addicted to something in that way, I can imagine what would lead someone to be addicted. You know?
Do you have any addiction? Self?
If I thought about it, I'm sure I could come up with something. Like yeah.
You know, today I love cheese. Real cheese.
Yeah.
You know?
This is what you want to
Yeah.
talk about, this cheese.
Especially from French or from mountains, you know, from Alps. So it have to be so strong. I love a really big cheese lover. And today, yesterday, I brought some really big piece of cheese. And today morning, I cannot stop to eat it till I ate it till the end, you know?
Well, you ate it all. Okay.
It happens all the time. I try to say, no, it's too much.
Right.
This piece is too much for you, you know? This piece is too bigger than you.
Yeah.
So this is my addiction, you know? If once cheese is in my fridge, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It will be over complete.
Right.
All piece.
Right.
I need really strong motivation to let it inside.
Right.
Maybe you have something like this.
Well, then I would say in food in general, like I've noticed a long time ago that I have trouble leaving food on my plate. I'll know I'll be full, and I'll just eat it until it's gone instead of just stopping when I'm full, you know? And to the point where I'll be sweating and you know? Even though I like cheese, and I knew about a few different things like mozzarella and cheddar and American cheese, whatever that is, Cheese Whiz. And you know, I eat this stuff, but it's nothing like, I need some cheese. You know, like I never.
Everybody have different. I don't know. Somebody have passion. I have same problem like with cheese with cherries.
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 Okay.
If cherries at my home.
Yeah.
It was, you know, in this summer I was in some place in Thuringen in middle of Germany, and it was just I don't know, like a forest with cherry trees. It was just horrible for me.
Wow.
I cannot stop to eat.
Yeah.
I was full. It was I was feeling really sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I cannot start to eat. I was sitting on the street. I ate all what I can catch from just pick up like this. And after it was not enough, I was bringing steps and I was sitting on trees. And I said, Daria, oh my God, you need to stop. Please stop it, you know. But it was till cherry season was over.
Right. Oh, wow. Wow.
It was really hard for me.
Wow.
I cannot stop.
Okay.
This, you know, but okay, maybe because I understand that actually nothing happens. So I am sick. I feel really, I cannot eat something else, you know.
Right.
It was really too much and it was with some allergy problem because it was too much.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but
see, and this is what I mean. Like, I need to think about this because I'm sure I have these moments where, like, with Netflix or something. One of my friends in Montreal, she had a puppy, like a dog, and I would dog sit for her for sometimes, and she had Netflix. And this was the first time I had ever been around Netflix or something like that. And there would be times when I would stay up all night long watching. Sometimes I watched like 3 whole series in you know. So like maybe like 20 episodes of something, you know what I mean? 20,
yeah, I
30
know.
And so like, but I mean, I don't know if I would consider this like an addiction in the sense that like I gotta come back over and watch Netflix at your house, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it happens like this. Yeah, it happens like this.
Yeah, I don't have that, so that's what I mean. I don't know if I have anything that qualifies like that. I'll overindulge in the moment, but I don't feel like uncontrollable need to do something like
Some kind of lonely women.
lonely women.
Lonely women.
Okay.
They read a lot of books, so love stories,
Yeah.
and they are inside or addicted to Netflix in this kind of movies,
Oh.
a love story and so on,
Mm-hmm.
It's really. I have one friend of mine. She's sitting on job and she's thinking, oh yeah, 2 hours more. I come back home and look all these movies or read all these books.
Wow.
She don't need man. She have no hobbies, only to read books and look these movies on not Netflix. She have something different, but not matter. Some stream.
This is the thing. Like see,
And you know why she's doing? She's liking to live in this world,
yeah,
not in reality.
yeah,
Because this is everything is so beautiful,
Yeah.
And it's happy end and real love, and nobody can hurt you, and and you look into life of other people, how it can be, or she took part of this feeling with her together, and she's feel much better. Or some fantasy world, somebody live in some fantasy world, and same like with gamer, which sitting, some one friend of mine told me one story about guy. He struggled to get a place in university. He got it, and with this place he got free. It was a lot of years ago. It was not internet and laptop. It was not so easy like now.
Yeah.
I don't know, 20 years ago or something like this.
Right.
Then he got laptop and he got internet, and he cannot left room. He lose this place because all what he was doing, sitting and playing online games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you, I feel like we talked about this in a different context, but I know that I used to be super crazy into making music and stuff like that. Like, I like making music now, but when I was younger, before the internet and before even cable was the way that it is now with all these channels, I could make music all day and all night and be super focused on what I was doing. And then, before there was digital cable, there was analog cable. And, there was all these different ways you can, because basically the way cable used to work is all the channels would go through and your box only allowed was a filter. So it only there was a chip inside that would only allow certain things to be shown through the TV, right? So you could bribe the cable installer or acquire a descrambled box through some other means, and it would give you all the channels. And when I first got a hold of one of these boxes, I spent so much time watching cable because I would just watch one thing and then I flip around, find something else to watch. That would go off. I flip around, find something else to watch. And then and this is really knocked me off track with making music. And I never really recovered from this actually. Once cable came along, then they had the porn channels on the cable box and everything, and it was like my whole. That's one thing I can testify to. Yeah, like I was probably, I don't know if I would call it addiction, but what I will say is that it definitely affected me negatively for quite a while, and I don't think I've ever fully recovered from that. Yeah, so with the gaming thing, I can see how this can work. Yeah. YouTube, social media.
For this guy, when his friends was trying to get him out of this channel, he said, but I am queen now. And under me, a lot of people, they're waiting in me, they're praying to me or something like this. I don't know which kind of game it was. I'm not into this stuff. You know, for him, at first it was some addiction just to have it. And after it's catch him because he was I'm someone in other world. I'm no one in reality.
Right.
And
yeah. I mean, so people are trying to escape what's going on in their real lives, or find some sort of relief for the things going on in their real lives, or find something that they can't find in their real lives, or feel good in a way. Yeah.
And you know, this person with alcohol addiction, and he said, it was really good what he said. He said, I was trying to kill me, but it was not working.
Wow.
So, you know,
Wow.
he have no mission in this life. It feels like this, you know. I think so. Maybe these people with when you start with this, when you start to drink or to take drugs, maybe first time it's just a fun. After when it start to be first step on addiction, people notice, and maybe people tell you something. For example, about my friend, he lose a lot of people around, and maybe it was pushing him to do this. To start to think that he have nobody and nothing for the struggle, you know. And people with drug addiction, how they're looking. Today I was in, I told you already, I was surprised. I'm from Charlotte. I live in Charlottenburg. It's a very nice area, you know. The people were looking nice, and here in Gesundbrunnen was just like a homeless. I don't know if there was really homeless or just lifestyle like this, or maybe you know what I do. Keep distance, because you smell. You are looking not so. You look dangerous. You know, you have dirty clothes and something wrong with you. And so this reflection we have about people which is not. Which look different as we look. It seems like we will go tomorrow, I don't know, on some island, you know, and somewhere next to Sri Lanka we have some special island. It's this island nobody was, because very aggressive aboriginal people living there. No one was on this island because they are not let someone to come in. So, and can you imagine if we just flying there and they said, okay, welcome. Daria, Hollis, welcome. And you know, these people, they're not in our social crisis, you know. They have no idea about internet or about smartphones or about pizza, you know. And it's for us like a different planet. And something, first of all, it's dangerous, you know. For both sides. They look at us something dangerous, and we will feel like this. Something they are dangerous. They will kill us. They will eat us. You know, super. Holy super good Daria. Same happens with people which stay on this way to go down. You know, on way to.
Well, you mean like self-destructive people?
Yeah, self-destructive. And I'm sure they like to go out, but they cannot.
Go out? What you mean by go out? Like stop doing what they're doing?
They like to stop and like to live normal life, but they cannot see light in the end, you know? Because if they take the drugs or drink alcohol or I don't know, I think people which is driving on highway with bike, 300 PS, you know, the same. It's same addiction. And they're just with this feeling, this euphoria or something, you know. I don't know exactly what it catch. I think just this feeling feeling of happiness, you know, it's something just it's increase all your hormones and you feel really this you're high.
Yeah. This is, I mean,
You know.
I don't know.
It's because normal you cannot get feeling like this normal way.
Right.
You cannot go and swing and to get something like
But
this.
you know, I think I think people don't often give themselves a chance to feel what naturally feeling good is like, because I don't go out as anywhere near as much as I used to. But I used to go out almost every night. I would say at a minimum, I was going out like 5 nights a week. Minimum, right? When I was in my 20s. And I mean, I also worked in the club and everything like this and everything. So I would count these days as well. But actually, if I counted those days, it was like pretty much going out every night of the week. And people will always ask me like, oh, how are you doing this? How are you able to like go out and not, and I was like, cause I'm having a good time no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, I think, I'm around like good people. I'm here, for the music. I'm here to socialize or whatever. And I'm not really,
you don't need any stuff.
I don't need anything, I still go out and, and I was a lot, even I'm still a little shy, but like was way shyer back then, and I still didn't have problems going out and being one of the first people on the dance floor if I came somewhere early or something like this, and and so but I've also been always a very practical person, so I was always thinking like, oh, I'll get a bottle of water, I spend and a bottle of water was like $1 or something at the $2. I don't know. And I'm like, shit, man, that's all I have to do. I drink a bottle of water all night. That's it. I'm good. I spend no money, And so I think that people don't give themselves a chance to understand like, oh, I can actually still have a good time without doing these things,
Yeah.
And so and there was one night in particular that I felt so good that I asked one of my friends to keep an eye on me, because I thought I might be high, because I had never had a night like this. Like I felt so good, and I don't think I was high or whatever, but it was just like everything was just really right that night. Like everything was just going really well. Like there's a whole other story, but I'll tell it to you another time, but like about that night. But yeah, so I think that's part of what it is. I think people, don't have, might not be aware of what they can do for themselves to make their general life manageable and good and fun. Like they're not able to see and appreciate the good things that they have, and so they look for it in something else, and then once you're hooked, then
yeah, exactly. You need to do something. You have to dig, you have to find. It's so easy, just I don't know, glass of beer.
Yeah,
it's life already better.
Yeah,
or joint or other stuff what person can take.
Shopping also.
Shopping is
Yes.
big addiction.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we are all in. So that's why I will tell now word we shouldn't like, but I must use it now.
Okay.
Do you know which word is it?
No, I don't.
Frustration.
Frustration. Oh my God, frustration.
It's really, what is frustration? It's, we have picture, what we like to have, and reality, what we have. And between wish and reality, all this distance, then bigger than distance, then bigger frustration.
Okay.
So this is frustration. So we like to have something, but we don't have it. And this long way to get, or maybe we cannot see any ways to get it. It's just if I don't know, small boy somewhere in Mumbai, living on street. It's for me. It's not possible to imagine that I will imagine what I can do for to have house, nice wife, I don't know, big car, whatever person can imagine. You know, sitting on street in Mumbai, but. We have different social, you know. We have everything, and we are not happy about this. We all the time we can see some holes. Also this, I don't know, people. I met also men with addiction to shopping. They said, it's my biggest passion what I have to go to shop. And you know, I do it as well, but I do it online. Anyway, if I got moments down, when I feel really down, what I do, I just open internet and online shopping. I don't know. I realize I don't need all this, you know. I buy it, and it will. At some moment in my life was not so easy, and. I was buying really a lot. I had time only in way to my job. And in this time, what I was doing, I was shopping online, and a lot of boxes was coming in my home.
Okay.
I opened, shit, what is this?
Yeah.
yellow shoes, or you know something strange.
Right.
Never will use it like this. So
Yes.
I pack it back and I send it back. And my husband was really angry because he was at home in this time, and he got all this, and he wondered how much money you spend for all this.
Yeah.
But I said, but problem is I pack it back and I send it back because I realized I don't need.
Right.
And but it's something, it's lack of frustration. I like to have something, good in my life. In this time in my life was not so much good. 22 hours of work, 2 hours it's way to work and back.
Right.
It was really tough time, and
You know what I would say that I think would be worth trying for people with this unhappiness or with this frustration is to try to create something. Whatever it is, just try to create something. Because to me, like, so many things, you and I, we have this fundamental difference in how we see things, right?
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, like, this is one of the reasons that I feel so strongly about my position, is because when I think about all of these things, I just don't believe in being passive, right? And I feel like shopping is a passive activity. Like, I feel like drinking is passive in the sense that, like, you like, these things are setting up a scenario so that the thing outside of you makes you feel differently, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is why if you can start to create something and do something actively, then this is when you feel like you have control, because you can do things that can actually change, something. You can affect your life rather than have your life affected by what's going on outside of you, And so I would say that, like, it will always be, and I can only go from my own experience, like, every time I found myself in a position when I wasn't happy, I always thought about what I could do to change things for the better. Like, and I never, like, I never thought about, like, I mean, maybe in the sense that I would, like, if I thought, like, okay, dressing better is going to make me more attractive, then I have to have some sort of job to do this, and then I get a job, and then, you know what I mean? And I say, okay, now I need to earn money so I can buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it's at a point where you skip these steps of getting the job to it, and you go and you shoplift instead, you steal them, or you steal from, you know what I mean?
You.
These are the quick ways of change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, like, the being passive and taking trying to take the shortcut, it always leads to something bad. But if you create your own scenarios, I think this is how things change, because, you know, like with this person that you described that reads these romance novels, and I'm not saying this stuff is easy or whatever, because when I look at these kinds of movies or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't look like any of these people, like, and it's always like people in their real life, you look at them and you like, because the story always starts out with them struggling. Oh, I can't find someone, and no one. And you can look at these people and you think, like, how in the world do they have these kinds of problems? You know what I mean? Like, of course, you know. Or it may be something like, I won't say unrealistic, because I don't necessarily believe in unrealistic, but less likely, like the person that's not attractive and they get the, you know, the most attractive, the other person in the movie that's most attractive falls in love with the less attractive, and they see the person that they are in the inside and all of that, you know what I mean? And you want to believe, oh, this can happen for me, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, fairy tale.
Yeah.
Everybody like to live
Yeah.
in fairy tale. Everybody, you know, that's what happens in our social. Oh, okay, in my situation, which I described with shopping on way to work and the way to home, I felt entrapped. I cannot left job because my husband was without, and I need to bring money for all family.
right.
And what I can do. I felt like this. I need just be strong,
Yeah.
and for some time, and after on first opportunities I will jump and to do something, you know. But in this moment I had no solution. It's good as it I didn't start to drink or to take drugs.
Right. Yeah. Because
I
this
said,
definitely
okay,
doesn't
it's
help. It only helps temporarily, right?
Yeah,
But why did you feel like you didn't have a solution?
Because situation was like this. I had shit job and family, to which I have to bring money.
Right. Did you think that yeah, it's a little bit difficult. It's hard for me to imagine this because I've never been in a situation where I've been like responsible for someone else. So I will say that you know, the way my solution would affect everyone else, and everyone else will have to be on board with the solution. But like, what was it? So getting a different job was not an option.
In this moment, not.
No. Because you didn't have the skill set to get a better paying job, or?
No, I didn't have time even to send my CV. So tough it was, you know.
Yeah.
When you work 15 hours per day, and you need to drive 1 hour to work, 1 hour back, and sleep.
Yeah.
You know, it was tough time. Yeah, it was. I can. Do you remember once you told me about some areas for poor people somewhere? I don't know, in New York, for example, where they put a lot of shops with alcohol. You know, and I understand people which is, for example, they have 3-4 kids. It's lonely mama, 3-4 kids, even. even if they have daddy, you know, they're all together, and they have some shit job because they're without study. Why they make so much kids? It's different question. But anyway, they have kids. They have shit job. They need to bring money all the time. Not enough. You have to pay for everything. And what you do in your free time? You cannot fly and to have holidays.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Right.
Or to have nice hobby, to drive Ferrari or something.
Right.
It's not an option.
Right.
It's easiest way, just 2 bottles of vodka, party can start.
And I mean, and that's what I think it is for other people as well. Like, you know, having sex with people to feel good or to feel wanted in that moment, or like, you know, or I think also with like these dating apps and stuff like Tinder, I was watching some video or something about like, you know, how people feel wanted by just like putting pictures of themselves up, you know, and just they're not really interested in the people. They just want the people to be interested in them, and they get it. You know what I mean? And so there's so many different ways you can give yourself the short-term good feeling. And so, you know, when it comes to like the scenario that you said, and as far as like, you know, you deal with what's around you, you know, so there's that the liquor store nearby, so you just buy some alcohol to feel good, or you have sex with somebody to feel good. You know, the key thing is like understanding that these short-term fixes, this short-term feeling, this short-term relief that you feel like you give yourself often ends up making the situation worse. You know? Yeah. This is why you have to try to use your imagination to find something that you can create to change the situation. Or even if you create something that makes you feel good from just saying, oh, I want to sit down and draw a picture or write a poem. And then you finish the poem, and then you feel like you accomplished something. And there's a reward in this as well. But the difference is you don't lose anything by doing this, you know? For me, I mean, my question to like with this guy that you said who got all caught in the gaming, right? I would say that like, then you have to find a way to make money from the gaming. I think that in those moments, if it is possible for you to try to create something or find a way to create, because at the end of the day, it's less detrimental to you. It's less of a negative thing, and it gives you the possibility to change your situation. Like, instead of, because I don't believe in accepting yourself as you are, you know what I mean? Like, or accepting yourself means you don't change anything about yourself. That's like my whole point. I think that it's just about creating something rather than going for the short term, you know. It's
just easy to say it from outside. It's not so easy to understand, to see ways from inside when you are in this situation. For example, with 3 kids and pregnant wife in one room apartment somewhere in Chipari in New York. So, but here's a good question: why you are in New York? It's still most expensive city. City in USA, and, you know.
San Francisco, I think, isn't it now, but
San Francisco. But anyway, it's fucking expensive. So go to Florida. No, it's not so expensive. Phoenix. So you have all the time chance to do something about this. Anyway, but. You know, maybe if you raise up in the city and all your friends around, and you cannot see this like an opportunity. You know, like for example, one friend of mine told me about some Berlin time when it was no work in Berlin. Berlin was not all the time so nice city. It was long time when it was just really distracted from social system city and city of alcoholics, and you know, just not so nice. And last time it's really enjoyable, and it was no work in Berlin. No work, because here was no complex of what we have now in business. It was here everything like a frozen, like a desert. And one friend of hers was living in Berlin. He said, I can do nothing. I don't have work. I just sit in social system, got my small money and drink beer on street, and that's all what I do. And she said, but Germany is big country. You can find job in another city.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Berlin. I live here all life.
Yeah.
I love Berlin. So then not complain. Just sit and drink a beer.
Yeah.
It's also,
Yeah.
if you like to change something, you will find solution. But if we speak about addiction, I had I have my story. I had problem with drugs.
Okay.
I was very young and was in some group of friends.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody share some good mood pills. You know, and in situation, you know, once I was clean, and this guys was coming to visit me to take me on some patio, so on. And I saw all this. I was clean. There was high, and how it's looking from outside. I said, I look insane. Most of my time, I looking same, like because there was not. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
I said, my God, but in. I decided I will go out from this party or from these people.
Yeah.
And usually I don't like to ask someone to do something, but I felt that I cannot stop it just now. And
You can't stop what just now?
just to go out, you know.
Okay. Okay.
I need something, you know, for to feel me better.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask my parents for help, and
Well, that's you ask your parents for help. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you ask for help.
know, but it's not so much in. I got they sent me to some retreat center for teenagers, you know, which have same problem like I have. Most of them was from rich families,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
If you have money, so drugs is more around you.
Yeah.
But in this camp, not so much kids was understanding self. That teenagers, it was not kids already, so it was already a bit adult. That you need help, and that's something wrong here. I don't know, 99% of teenagers that was in this camp is just they are pushed from parents, and a lot of them was trying to fight something, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Give me cigarette.
Right.
It's everything is better than nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Just for to have something.
Yeah.
For to have this feeling,
Yeah.
I don't know, or just poison in your body, you know, something. It's something physical, you know, that you need. And we was in the island, and to go another side, you need boat, and after you need to go through forest, through forest, some kilometers. If you like to have even bread,
Wow.
you know, it was really.
That's where the retreat was. Like it was so
Yes.
remote that you couldn't. Okay. Wow.
So for us, for teenagers, it was no way to go. We was trying once, but we are kids from city, you know. We don't know how to handle boat.
Okay.
I would just sit in, and my friend said, and you have to swim. But the stuff for the handleboard was laying on ground, and I was in water before.
You went in the water without the paddle for the boat?
Exactly, a paddle.
Yeah, oh my God.
I saw it first time. I thought it's working just like this. You sit inside. Usually somebody there was alone. It's it's
oh wow,
it's a little luggage.
Yeah, that was dangerous, man. You could have just got swept out to sea somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my God, it was a lot of fun, but it was only try to escape.
Right. Okay.
After we decided, okay, we sit just here, calm.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say, and if you are inside and if you feel good about this, if you feel it's just fun, it can stop in any moment. I felt it also like this. I can stop it in any moment and I will just go.
Right.
But it was not like this.
Right.
I cannot. Yeah, I without help of my parents, it will be just not possible.
Yeah.
And about this group, which I was with, I don't know, I cannot call them friends. I don't know. Only a couple of them alive.
Yeah.
And all of us are dead already.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why I never start these things. Like, I grew up in the crack era, and this is why I never, I mean, as far as like drinking this beer and doing the little stuff that I did do, I mean, I was able to see how things could go in the wrong direction, just from what was going on around me and within my family and stuff like that, I knew that there was a chance that if I started it, I might not be strong enough to stop. And this is enough for me to not start, like, because I don't want to risk it.
You see, you can see examples what can happen.
Yeah. But once again, there's, I don't want to call myself wise, right? But I mean, this is what I was saying before about the difference between like wisdom and knowledge. Because if you can see it, I don't know who doesn't know that you can get addicted to alcohol. Like, and other people, I mean, there are people obviously that can drink and stuff like that and they're fine. Nothing happens to them. They drink every once in a while or that's it, But to me, the risk isn't worth it. Like, it's not that important to me. And I'm fortunate enough to know I can say it is much easier for me to say it like this because I have no idea of what I'm missing. I don't know what it feels like to be drunk or high because I've never experienced it, I know I'm saying it from like, I can recognize that I'm coming from a completely different place, but I mean, I just didn't want to put myself in that position. I know what I'm strong enough to handle, which is why I know that I can go to a club, no problem. And everybody will be doing drugs around me or on drugs or whatever. And, on New Year's Eve, people were trying to put shots in my hand the whole night, And I just either say no, or if they make me take it or, or they put it into my hand, I just sit it down immediately. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just not even a thought because I know I'm strong enough to handle it. But in certain other situations, I won't put myself in a position, you know what I mean? But that's always starting from the beginning. And like, once you have tried it, then I don't know what you do after this, so it's tough. I feel for people.
Yeah, you need to be really, really strong. Yeah, I don't know. I have some examples here in Berlin and in my life, and around me friends that they're stop once, not once, but one person done itself. Same like with me, just woke up and one day and decided, okay, it's already crazy. It's cannot go like this. I need to stop. Some other person was coming from outside and said, guy, you need to stop. You fuck up your life, and just pull him out and done something for to change his life, and did. But if and he was like influencer for him, and he can stop. But if this person will be not struggle enough, or just said, you have offer, yes, not, no, okay. So do your stuff. Or if you have completely nobody who can do it, so you will lose this game,
Yeah.
I can imagine this person was really strong about speed. And
He was doing speed. Okay.
And he was selling speed, not only doing so. He was.
Yeah.
It's good if you have someone, but it's very sad if you don't have someone and you are strong not enough to stop it. So
well, how what would the thing is, right? Like how because obviously I've been in this situation many times, and I try to, all I can do is be a good example and a good influence, right? But what I won't do is put myself in a dangerous situation for someone who's not ready to change. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think? What should you do in this kind of situation when you want to try to? If you try to take someone out of help someone get out of a bad situation, and they don't want to go, like, how hard do you think you should push?
From one side, I understand that without wish from other side, without wish of this person to change something in this life, you can do nothing.
Right.
Really, if his mission in this life, if he feel like this, to drink till the end, and better I will die, then I will do something. I enjoy my life. I live on street. I don't know whatever, or I took tomorrow too much drugs and I'm not here anymore. Some people about this, but if once he said, I like to change my life, or you said, do you like to change your life? And he said, yes, I do, but I don't want how. And I said, okay, I can help you, it's have to be something like this.
Yeah.
Or I worry about you, maybe I can try to help you, but if someone have this addiction, he have to say that he like to try, he like to take this help, because in other way I will lose. I will fight with, with wind.
Yeah.
It will not work. It will not help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So better didn't start, but sometimes you just cannot realize that something bad happens already. Like kids, I know a lot of examples when kids in school was trying to smoke, because you are cool if you have a cigarette, and after they cannot stop their smoke till now.
Yeah, and this is actually this is the kind of thing that I was like talking about, like with how you raise your children and stuff like that. Like I still always have to go back and give my mom her props on like the way that she raised me. This is how early it starts. Like this is why kids have to be prepared to deal with peer pressure. Because, a lot of times when people are in bad situations or whatever, they try to encourage you to be in the situation with them, and you have to be strong enough to, like, you want to be the person influencing other people, not the other way around. You don't want people influencing you. You want to influence other people, And this comes from having a strong sense of yourself and what you believe about yourself and what you want out of your life. And this is why I have these thoughts about, like, if I had children, one of the things that I would they would, like, outside of their traditional education, like, it would be mandatory for them to learn like a martial art, so they know how to fight. And when you know how to fight, this is when you're not so afraid to say no to people, and it comes down to what you can prove to yourself. Like, when you understand, I don't need these people in my social circle to feel good about myself, like, they, you know what I mean? Like, I can still be cool without doing what they say is cool, This is how you can avoid these kinds of situations before they even have a chance to start, So that's why you got to get them when they're young or whatever. Like, in adults, it's a lot harder to fix things as compared to when you're a kid and you can be shaped and given the tools that you need to avoid these kinds of situations. You need proof, and the more you prove to yourself that you can do things, then you have less of these things to worry about. Like, when I go out, right, I don't even see other people, like, unless you're like super falling down, like drunk, or like sleeping in the corner somewhere, or like throwing up. I don't even see it, like, people can be totally, I'm completely comfortable in this situation. I don't feel out of place. I don't feel a need to fit in the way that someone might think I might need to fit in, And I can be in that environment, and it's because I have like a strong sense of myself that I've proven to myself, So that's what I mean. Like, that's always, to me, this is always why you have to do things. Like, you can't be passive. Like, you have to do a little of everything that's going to reaffirm who you are, so that you have a better chance to deal with these kinds of situations.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The passive position in life that lead to something like this. Yeah. At least, there's just this feeling that you cannot change something. No, you can.
Yeah.
You can just stand up and find it.
Yeah. And that
and also, with this situation, what I described when I ordered all these shoes and clothes via internet, and I can do something. I can just leave my work, and I said, husband, I love you very much, but go work. Do something in your life, right?
Or I would be like, yo, you go send my CVs out, like send out my resume for me so that I can find another job, like, something like that. Like,
but in this moment, I felt like entrapped, I have nothing else to do and to change, but actually just maybe to take pause, to say it, okay, I am sick for, 5 days, and just to take this time and looking out of your reality.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not reality.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like you always have to know and believe that there's something you can do. There's something that you can do.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I agree.
And
it's all the time something what I can do about.
Yeah. It's never hopeless. It's never hopeless.
Never. Even, I heard one story about person which was completely on bottom. He was drinking. He was really alcoholic. With it was end of meaning of alcoholic. He was living on street and so on, and he was going to special clinic for detox and so on. And now he's normal person and live a normal life.
Yeah.
He's not drinking at all.
Yeah.
And he find way to change the situation.
Yeah.
It was not working from first time. He went to this detox clinic, 5-6 times. But in the end, it was working. You know, it was he was liking to change his life. It was working, and okay, he have someone who can help, or he meets someone who was helping. But anyway, first of all, it was his wish to change something.
Yeah.
He noticed it's not gonna like this. You know, it's already too crazy. It's already too much.
Yeah.
And he was just going to change his life. It's never end. And I know a lot of stories about heroin junkie. They stop it, they clean and lead normal life. At the moment, everything is possible.
Yeah.
But you have to wish it. You have to just want it to live.
Yeah.
And understand that except to living and enjoying life, you enjoy some stuff.
Yeah.
And this is not life. It's not reality.
Right,
you know, it's just something to cover. You know, like instead to color your wall, you just put some pictures.
Yeah.
It's looking that it's nice, but
Yeah.
you can just color your wall. It will be much more nice.
Yeah.
The paper for gifts,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You just cover some shit in this paper.
Right. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Just go and fix it.
Fix it.
Yeah.
And and just try things and keep trying, even if you fail. Just keep trying.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually it's gonna stick. You know.
Yeah.
And then when you find yourself in the next crisis situation, you'll have proven to yourself that you can get through it. You know.
Yeah. And never give up, and don't feel that somebody don't understand you, and only you are special. We have special addiction,
Right.
and you can do nothing about this.
Right.
Just
And-
believe in yourself.
And I think you also will see how much once you start doing things for yourself and start trying to fix things, then other people will get on board with you, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, and then you'll find out who are the people that really care about you are, because some people will try to bring you back down and aid you in continuing on the wrong path. And then there's going to be other people that are going to recognize that you're making these changes, and they're going to support you.
Exactly. These people you can find everywhere.
Yeah.
But this way with your old friends, which sit with you in bottom, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to cut this line. You have to left all this bad company, but I don't know, bodies. Just they can do what they want.
Right.
They can stay, they can leave, they can change life, whatever. And you have to think about your life and change what you can. Only what you can change is your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this, and you will see that someone will come to your own way, and something will come.
Right.
To help you with this way. Just start to go. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough topic. What I recommend to do for everyone who listens us at the moment, just to think about what you do daily, monthly, every minute, every second. Is any addiction in your life?
Yeah.
Maybe you're too much into shopping, or maybe it's too much parties, or maybe just too much alcohol parties.
Too much food.
Too much food, it's also addiction. All kind of addiction, it's already signal that you need to change something in your life.
Right.
So, and I'm not speaking now to say stop to eat or shit man, stop to drink or something like this. Not. I said that you have to look in your problem or over your life what happens, why you do like this. Maybe it's some place to fix something wrong in your life.
Right.
Just find this point, fix it, and start to live full life.
Right.
And it's possible. It's possible. Not not make some nice cover or something what for to hide what is behind.
Yeah.
Live in reality. Reality is wonderful.
Yes.
It's really enjoy this life. Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening and share with us your opinion, your stories. Your personal stories of your friend or maybe someone from family.
Yeah.
And we will publish it in Facebook and Instagram. We will happy to support you. If you need something, what we can do, we will do all possible.
I am Hollis P. Monroe.
I am Daria.
And we are believers.
We are believers.
And we wish you a good day, a good week. And until next time.
We wish you a good life.
Yes.
And this is in your hands.
Yes.
Go and take it.
Work.
Do it.
Work.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Do you belong with me?